And I intentionally started this one late. I want to start this conversation late because I want the grown folks in here only. People that's going to keep it all the way real. First off, put out down in the chat if you've ever been with somebody who did you bad, did you wrong. And it honestly still bothered you afterwards that they could leave you in pieces to need therapy, to need counseling, to need all of this stuff, and they just move on with their life. Like you just another pit stop. I don't know if anybody's going to keep it real with me tonight. Again, I'm intentionally having this conversation nice and late. I don't know when you're seeing this, but the live conversation is happening late. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to put I. If you wanting to be real enough with me, put I down in the chat. If you've ever been hurt by somebody and it bothered you that they could just hurt you, do you bad, leave you a stranger to yourself, leave you a shell of yourself, then jump right into a new relationship. Move right on. Go right on with their life. You ain't never been no hater. You ain't never wanted the worst for somebody. You didn't even try to go for revenge. Maybe you did. But truthfully, if you're just keeping it all the way real, just 100% transparency, this is a safe space. Have you ever been in a situation where a dude hurt you, used you, did you bad? Afterwards, it took you so long to put yourself back together. And even worse, it seemed like he just moved on without he didn't even skip a beat. He just moved right on. Maybe karma will get him one day, whatever. But even that don't do it for you. Like, that's not enough. You literally are seeing this man live his best life after he shattered you. I just want to know if anybody, okay, I got some people going to keep it real. Vanessa, Toby, thank y'all. Now, I know some of y'all don't want to say it because you don't want to admit it. Some of y'all, honestly, maybe you've never been in this situation. But it hurt hearing this woman. Like, I did the encore earlier to the Break the Soul Tie Masterclass. Because there are some steps. Before you can truly break a soul tie, there are some steps. There are some things you need to come and truly have clarity on. Because all of the questions and uncertainty is what really keeps you stuck from truly moving on and being in position for the man God has for you. Anyway, this one sister was thanking me for, the steps, break the soul tie. She immediately felt released from that man, et cetera, et cetera. But how she described her experience, not just in the relationship, but what kept her from getting in a new relationship, and essentially saying, like, it's so tough. It was not just traumatic to be with the man, but it was traumatic having to see him move on and live his best life. And on social media, that's not what's cool to say. It's not cool to admit you don't like the fact that this person, your ex, that you don't want no more and they don't want you or whatever, however, maybe you left them. It don't matter. It's not cool to say that you still care about how well they're doing or how well they're not. Like, you're supposed to just be numb the moment that you drop somebody, right? But in real life, there is a thing of wanting a certain level of justice. And it's not that you want revenge. I'm not saying that. Some of y'all do. But there's a natural inclination to wish there was some justice, like it's not fair. It's not, this ain't how it's supposed to go. You don't just hurt somebody who gave you their best, who gave you their love, gave you their body when they don't even do that for everybody, maybe even gave children, crushed them, and then move on with your best life. That's not how it's supposed to go. And then having that desire for justice or that confusion around the injustice can really keep you stuck. See, a lot of people who don't know how to move forward in their healing, truly move forward, they don't understand that even about themselves. But let me put y'all on game. Y'all say F them. Hey, I'm all about F them. I'm all about F them. Matter of fact, this is all the more F them. Because once you understand this, it'll release you from that whole, I wish there was justice. Let me keep it real with y'all. There are nightmares that a toxic ex has. Y'all be thinking the karma gonna take years to come. The karma already come. The karma's already there in what's haunting them every single day. Let me tell, matter of fact, there's 3. It depends what kind of toxic ex that you had. And I'm not talking about a man you just don't like, upset with. He did something wrong. Maybe he betrayed you, but he was ultimately not a horrible dude. I'm talking about a dude that honestly from day one, you realize never loved you or even liked you. One nightmare of that toxic ex is him one day meeting a female version of him and falling for her. Now, how does this play out? Some of y'all have dated or came across that super insecure man, the kind that think that there is the betrayal hiding behind every bush. You just trying to do everything. You just trying to go. All you want to do is go to this place where there's going to be guys and you know what you're going to do. That kind of guy. Let me tell you something. More than likely, he was that toxic ex. You see, whenever you are a toxic person, when you're such a betrayer and you get good at it, you don't realize how you're breaking your own trust for years to come. A toxic man does not understand that. And what happens is his nightmare is one day coming across a woman who's just as good at the game as he is. How does this play out? This plays out in him always trying to confirm that all women are bad. All these women out here, you know, they use other language. All these chicks out here, they ain't about nothing. They just, whole time he's trying to reconfirm that in his mind because he doesn't want to actually open up. Now, here's the trick. Here's the nightmare part of it. He does want to open up. He does. But he's trying to keep himself from opening up because he's afraid of that hurt that he gave you. And it's so real to him that somebody could be so convincing, so manipulative, so slick at it. Why? Because he the one that did it. Y'all probably heard me say something along the lines of, you know, as an empath, as a good woman, you got to realize everybody ain't got the same heart as you. Which means, I'm telling you basically, don't project your good heart onto everybody else because that's what comes natural. Guess what? The same thing goes vice versa. The toxic ex naturally projects his heart out onto everybody else. He don't realize it whenever he's being toxic. But he comes across a woman and he can't let that woman in. He wants to. So now he's a double-minded man. He's embattled. And I know I'm going to lose some people on this, but just stick with me for a second. He's over here wanting so badly to finally open up at some point, but he can't do more than surface level relationships because he's made the dynamic, he's made the reality so vivid of a person who can get away with stuff and lie their way out of things and wants to lie and continue lying as long as they ain't getting caught. He's made that so vivid. He's ridden with fear. He's traumatized himself by being the betrayer. His worst nightmare is coming across a woman that's just like him. And now for years to come, he's running through chicks, if you will. He's running through chicks. Some of them he actually would like to settle down with. And in the back of his mind is what he was able to do to you and the hurt he was able to deliver and how naive you were and that he can't be that naive. Now it's a man who's constantly running from love, even though he wants it. He can never hit that spot. I don't care how good you are at getting women and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But ain't enough vagina in the world to hit that spot of your heart that truly wants to feel at home with a woman. To feel loved with a woman. He can't even feel that. I know it don't feel good that you were the one that believed somebody. You were naive. A lot of y'all bash yourselves, shame yourselves. I was so stupid. You don't realize how much of a blessing it is to be able to trust and open up to somebody. You just gave that trust to the wrong person, but it's a blessing that you weren't so toxic that you couldn't open up. You were able to open up in love because, again, you project your good heart onto him. But guess what? The same thing goes for him. And no matter what, for the rest of his life, maybe not for the rest of his life, but for many years, you ain't the only good woman he's going to miss out on. He's going to constantly push women away. Y'all be seeing men out here and thinking they just dismissive, avoidant attachment styles and, you know, oh, I've been hurt before. And they got these misconceptions of women. It's just a misconception of people because he's the source of his framework of what he expects. His worst nightmare is meeting a woman just like him. And him falling for her. And now he got to go out here. It's almost like being thirsty. I mean, parched. But you're deathly afraid to drink, any water, anything. But you're thirsty. That's what it's like being a toxic ex. And the worst part is also whenever he lose you, and he actually did come to believe that you were the one that was different from all of what he's ever been. And now he actually can't get you back. Now, that brings me to the second worst nightmare. It's not like it's second worst, like it's not as bad. It just depends on what kind of toxic ex that you had. Don't think karma is delayed for these toxic exes. Because the moment he loses all control of you, when I say control, let me be very clear. I don't literally just mean control. If you had a controlling toxic ex, him losing all influence over you, all impact over you, like you don't think twice about this man, and it's not going to be so apparent if you're not all up in his face. I get that, but I guarantee you if he's a toxic ex and he was controlling, he's looking for the signs. He's looking for the signs. This is why I always say, man, don't get revenge. Don't do. I saw a girl once upon a time. Who she split from her man, and she dedicated her whole Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. She just went on an all-out smear campaign, and I get it. She's upset. But I was thinking to myself, like, if she thinks she hurting this man, all she doing is letting him know he still is on her mind. That's all she doing. But when a man loses all relevance, let's just substitute that word control. When a man realizes he's lost all relevance with you, if y'all do got to talk because you got kids together, you turn straight into HR. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all look, ladies, I'm your big brother, so I'm just keeping it all the way real with you. You know, whenever you get HR with a man, that HR voice come on, it's straight business. It's straight professional. You talk to him, it is on. We on the subject, or we ain't talking at all. When a man get that version of you, like he's thinking it's sweet because hey, y'all got kids together, y'all got to talk, and you don't do no kikiing with them. You ain't giving them no emotion. You just HR. Hello, sir. I'll get back to you in 3 to 5 business days via email. Per my last email, when you get that, that's his worst nightmare. Because again, if he was controlling, he was trying to control you from a very insecure place. You were filling a void. You helped this powerless man, this man that felt, or at least he identified with feeling some level of insignificant or invisible. You helped fill that void by way of always trying to please him or regard him or consider him in everything that you did. What up, Joyce? And whenever he loses all relevance, you ain't talking about him. He don't see his impact on you. He try to pop up and you really don't care. He cuss you out and do all this, that, and the other, and you really don't even respond. When that man realizes he's lost all impact, influence, relevance whatsoever in your life, he's going to fall right back. You see, a lot of dudes will get a lot of girls, but it's only a select few who can truly and will truly let a man all the way in. There are women who will open up their legs and will open up their heart. I know that sounds kind of harsh, but it is what it is. So when a man is sitting there devoid of any level of significance, like he feels unworthy, and to the point where he has to project that in the form of trying to control or be dominating or anything like that, it don't work on Boom Quisha over there who is just throwing that vagina everywhere all over the city. It don't work. It feel good physically, but it don't hit that spot, that void. It don't hit that spot. Only the woman who is truly dedicated, that he's about to mishandle, can give him a flicker of what he truly needs from healing. But that's the only one that even can convince him that he's not what he really is, broken. And so his worst nightmare is no longer having anywhere to hide from that unworthiness, because there's no more investment from you whatsoever. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is apathy. Am I making sense with what I'm saying? We talking instant karma. We not talking 10 years from now, 30 years from now, 20 years from now, he's going to get hit by a car. No. We talking about that man's mental and emotional wellness all frazzled, all scrambled, because there's nothing shielding it anymore. You're not shielding it anymore. Your naivete is not shielding it anymore. Your efforts to love him despite what he's doing to you that's pretty much hate in action form is not shielding him anymore. That's the nightmare of an ex that just needed to control you when he realizes he's irrelevant. You don't care. You happen to see him out and you really just, you didn't run. You didn't get upset. It didn't ruin your night. Popped up in your inbox or whatever, and you just blocked him. You ain't respond. Text him and then all of a sudden the bubble green and he can't get through. Like you really don't care. You're just annoyed at most. You give him enough energy to know that, for him to know that you're annoyed by him. It's like a shoe fly shoe. He sent his homeboy, hey, you know, such and such, and you just like, oh. So, and you just switch the subject or really got somewhere else to go, and the homeboy got to come report back that, man, she really don't care. Worst nightmare of a controlling toxic ex. But I'm going to give y'all one more. One more. Oh, y'all can relate. One more nightmare. Worst nightmare. Just depends the kind of toxic ex that you have. Don't think karma going to find them eventually. It's finding them already. One more nightmare of a toxic ex. Contrary to when people just say, oh, another man treating you right. I'm going to give y'all the real game. It's not just when a man treats you right. It's when a man treats you right and is able to upgrade you with the love that he's giving you. I got to go in on this one. I don't need no notes or nothing. You see, a lot of women hold this conception that it's whenever another man come and treats you right that the last man gonna regret what he lost. That's not it. Because in a toxic ex's mind, there's a lot of men that'll do that. But one, you're probably not gonna like them as much. Or two, they're gonna be a downgrade inferior to you. So you're still gonna be in a worse off position. Or three, you're not going to be able to receive that new man because you still so heartbroken over him. Look, man, if you listen to, look, y'all, I talk to y'all like I talk to my sisters. I really give y'all the game, man. And this free, just like my master class. This is why I did the Break the Soul Tie master class. Like I love giving y'all free game that honestly people would pay tens of thousands for. But let's get back to the subject. Let's think about, I'm going to give y'all a case study. Ciara. She was with Future, right? I don't know if y'all know the singer Ciara. She's with Russell Wilson now. You know, when she was with Future, she was still Ciara. She was still lit now. She was doing her thing. But if you look at Ciara now, you see growth. She has that grown woman, motherly, but still professional, yet still soft life glow about her. If you see singer Ciara, you see like, nah, this one, she's not popping perks, drinking or, you know, just get through the day, get through the week. You can see the health on her. Got a relationship with God now. Like you can see the man she's with now has truly elevated her. She was already good by herself. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking nothing away from her. But the man she's with now, Russell, he had these dudes so upset. I remember a couple of years ago, they was trying to call Russell Wilson square. I don't know if y'all probably don't remember that. Dudes was on podcasts calling Russell Wilson a square. And really, these guys identified with Ciara's ex. So they basically were living vicariously through Ciara's ex. And they were trying to cope with the reality that a woman that they thought so low of or so little of could truly move on and actually do better. Not a man who just got more money. Not a man who just gonna, you know, give him the sun, moon, and stars, whatever. But truly, not just love her, but she be so receptive. She having this man kids. They raising healthy kids. He done took on one of the children that wasn't even biologically his and doing a great job raising him. She doing her thing in her career. You could tell she looked like she just juicing greens every day. I mean, the woman is doing great. A toxic ex's worst nightmare. One of them anyway. One of the top three. Toxic. This probably the worst one. This probably the worst one. Because this takes away all of his excuses. Is whenever another man not just treats you better and loves you the way that man should have done. But when you're completely open to it, receptive to it, and positively impacted by that love. Now, there are factors that go into this because this is where a lot of times I'm going to get me another man that's going to do this, that, or the other. But again, your toxic ex is thinking, well, he ain't hitting it right. Yeah, he ain't doing it like I was doing it because he remember when he had you digmatized. Yeah, he ain't hitting it right. Or she's still posting subliminals about me. Even though she with him, she's still over here going on and on about me. Mad at me. So he's still feeling some level of importance. But when not just he loses control or, you know, anything like that, but when that man introducing you to new levels of life, you traveling now, you eating good, you clearly are sleeping good, you don't look stressed out, none of that. Your lifestyle, not just even professional, of course the money is good, right? You're making more money or professional moves you're making. but your mental health just seems to be more intact. You talking about subjects you weren't talking about before. You trying some stuff that he said was stupid. You want to have your little garden in the backyard, a farm or something like that. You want to start taking some chances in business that he said you weren't capable of taking. You want to get in the gym. You in the best shape of your life. This man has clearly upgraded you. Don't you know a toxic ex will stop claiming you? That's how much it'll hurt a toxic ex. He'll stop claiming you. If you get to that, see, y'all don't want to claim your toxic ex because he'd be such an embarrassment. But for a toxic ex, like you're not the toxic one in this situation. I'm talking to those of y'all who are not the toxic one. But the toxic ex, he will not claim you if it's like, dude, you fumbled her? Wait, I remember when she was with you, but she wasn't doing all this. Bro, she look healthy. She done got thicker. She done got, I thought she was, how old is she? She looked younger. Damn, she all right. Damn, I hope my girl, take some classes from her. What was you doing? That's because the whole thing is our impact. We're leaders, right? We're men. We're supposed to come in and lead. All it shows is how bad of a leader he was, how detached you've actually gotten from this man, and how much better she was able to find, like you were able to find. How much better you were able to attract. So you got a man who not only is actually an upgrade himself, but was able to upgrade you because you were in position to receive him. That ex, that toxic ex, so insignificant and was a downgrade, it basically looks like he was a doggone bum. That's the toxic ex's. Now you got the game. That's the toxic ex's worst nightmare. And the whole significance of this is, sis, you ain't got to get no revenge. You ain't got to stay up all night thinking about that man. You ain't got to post subliminals and all this kind of stuff to hope that he gets the message. You ain't got to do none of that. You ain't got to wait for something bad to happen, him to come down with some kind of sickness. No. If he's a toxic ex, I promise you, he already suffering. And then if you do what you're supposed to do, he's only going to suffer more. And now you can take your hands off the wheel and stop even thinking about it. Like, it'll get to a point where it won't even do nothing for you that he's suffering this kind of instant karma. It won't even do nothing for you. You'll be so emblissed by the man that came in, not just loved you correctly, because you go out here and get you a people pleaser or somebody who ain't on your level. They'll love you correctly. They'll do all the things and you won't care nothing about it. But when you truly get your own vibration right, raise your vibration so not only do you attract better, but you're able to actually receive better. That's the toxic ex's worst nightmare. But let me say this. This is where that misunderstanding that's been going on for a very long time is where a lot of women get it wrong. And you don't do the part to actually be receptive. You see, a good man can't come and bring anything to the table if your plate is still full of BS. He can't. Sis, a good man cannot come in and say, hey, I'm trying to bring upgrade. I'm trying to bring resources. I want to take you from wherever you at and give you the softness, give you the relief, the space to just start developing who you truly are, not just be in survival mode on this rat race trying to make ends meet. Like, I want to come into your life and as a result, be like the upgrade or be the ability to upgrade that you always wanted, but were never afforded because you was compensating for the effort this other man didn't put in. But a man can't do that if you're soul tied. Again, that's the part that's missing. A lot of women who just think, well, yeah, I'm going to get me another man. I'm going to get me another man. Yeah, you're going to get you another man, sis. But are you really going to be able to benefit from that man if you still soul tied to the ex? No. If you still got trust issues from the ex? No. If you still digmatized from the ex? No. I don't know a lot of y'all ain't got that problem because a lot of times the ex wasn't even doing all that. That 3 inches felt like 6 only because you was in love. But we're going to leave that for another conversation. But if you still so closed off to the possibility of love because you just feel like it come with disappointment because, the ex did you like that? Is a new man going to truly be able to come in and give you anything? Like, is he going to truly be able to come in and give you real value? No. And so once you get rid of the toxic ex, now you don't desire him, or maybe you do a little bit. To truly get in position, you gotta cut the strings off. Y'all say no contact, but he still got contact with your soul. He still imprinted you with certain narratives of unworthiness. of he's the best, he's the best you could do. Or if you do get a man with some money, it's going to come with this. If you do get a man who's attractive, he going to act like that. If you do get a man, he's eventually going to drop you or abandon you. If he has friend girls, if he comes around a woman that's pretty, that's all soul tie side effects. I describe them all, how to identify a soul tie in the masterclass. Breaking the soul tie. If you did not get that, I just put the sticker there. The link is down in the comments. Hold on. The link is down in the comments. If you didn't get it, the link is pinned in the comments to the masterclass. Those of y'all who said you missed it, this probably been the most explosive masterclass I've seen in a minute. Let me see. The link should be somewhere. I don't know if you can see it down in the comments. Just look down here in the comments. It's also in the caption whenever you back out. How to not just identify a soul tie that you might still have. It can be from years ago, college, 20s, teen years. But the things that you think, well, I've learned, but it's only produced the result of you not being able to open up to a new man that's showing you nothing but green flags. You not being able to truly connect. Some of y'all, you get with a dude and you instantly lose all attraction for him and you don't even know why. You feel like maybe it's a red flag. Maybe we're just not right for each other. And the whole time that soul ties was blocking your ability to connect. There's not a single woman who moved on from a toxic ex, truly upgraded, and still had a soul tie. But if you don't know what to do, don't trip. Big Bro got you. I talked about it in the masterclass. Break the soul tie. I talked about it in the masterclass. Break the soul tie. Let me see. The link is down in the comments. I was trying to find out how to do this. I'm working on it. Anyway, moral of the story is this. And I didn't make this for the woman that's obsessed and just can't get over a man. But honestly, no shame here. No, this is a safe space. Maybe it is tough to get over that ex. Maybe it is something that keeps you up at night. Maybe it is something that years later you feel like you should be over, but you're not. Maybe it is something that sends you down memory lane whenever you see this man, but you still don't want him, but dang, it still hurts so bad. Maybe you named a child after him. You got to hear that name and it triggers you, or you still got a co-parent with this person that broke you. And maybe, okay, maybe it was just a fling, a situationship. But let me tell you something. If that man was truly toxic, don't think for a second he got away with how he did you. You see, when you deal with somebody that hurt you and you genuinely didn't deserve it. Now, this ain't for everybody. There's some messed up girls out here. There's some messed up chicks out here, and they out here wrecking the good dudes. I'm keep it real with you. But if you're a woman that showed up in that relationship, yeah, you got your flaws, but you never was trifling to this man. You never tried to break this man down. But from day one, all he did was set you up with the love bombing just to hurt you on the other side once he knew that he had you so vulnerable and locked in that you just couldn't immediately leave. You dealt with that man and he was toxic. Don't trip, sis. You ain't got to get no kind of lick back. God gonna spin the block for you. And guess what? He ain't gonna take forever to do it. Those nightmares, that guilt, those demons, him losing all control of you, him always having to look over his shoulder and keep one eye open because he don't want to meet another him. Just like the people that act so tough because they from the hood, but they honestly got PTSD and don't know it. Dudes be out here wrecking good women and they leave with PTSD. You think they living their best life? No. They've just perfected and refined their craft on making it look like they're good. They're not good. And you can see by their lifestyle they ain't good. And worst of all, when that man not just loses you to a man who's going to treat you right and do this, that, and the other, but he sees you're actually fully receptive, the very thing he can't be to another woman, even if she is a good woman, not just receptive, but this man has got you doing new things he never could put you on to, resources he never had. He's investing in you, this guy that you're with now. He's introducing you to things. He got you talking different. He got you living right. Y'all raising beautiful, healthy, confident kids together. That's the karma of a toxic ex. He ain't get away with nothing. Now, that third part is more involved. I just got to be clear with you. There's so much more involved than you just getting rid of the toxic ex and he can't have you, or maybe he's still begging or whatever he's doing. If you want to get in position to not just upgrade the man that you attract next, but do so in a way where you're in position to also be upgraded by that man, not just professionally, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, and physically, you need to break the soul tie with each and every person in your past that's ever had access to you that wasn't meant for you in the end. And I'm not just talking it. I literally gave you the step-by-step formula. I put the link down here in the comments. Again, it's in the caption as well. But those are just my thoughts. I'm your internet big brother looking out for you. Y'all know I got you. And again, if you want more free game, go ahead and click that link. If you got something of value from what I just talked about, if anything resonated with you, hit the share button. Don't be selfish. Get that good karma coming back your way by blessing somebody else by way of hitting that share button. You never know who needed this message.